right now. If you are joining me this morning, it might be nice to have either a block, some kind of strap, or even like a Kleenex box or a VHS tape would work. Even like a shoebox would probably be a good option in place of a yoga block or a strap. If you don't have any of those props, don't worry about it. I will definitely be providing options for you if you are working without any props today. But if you have them and you think you could benefit, go ahead and grab those now. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to start with our grounding breath work and meditation from a position on your stomach. So if you also have like a blanket or pillows lying around, that might be something you could find useful for this posture. We'll be working with crocodile breath, so that's lying on your stomach. Hands will be one stacked on top of the other underneath your forehead. And if you did want to toss like a pillow or something at the very end of your mat for the top of your feet to rest on, that's a really nice option too. So that would end up looking something like this. Know that that prop underneath your feet is optional, but it sometimes just feels nice. Feel free to come and go as you like throughout this practice. This is a more energetic practice this morning that I have planned. We'll be working with some heart opening and some back bends. So if you're just now joining us, you can go ahead and come onto your stomach, placing one hand on top of the other underneath the forehead. Maybe you bring something underneath the feet. Another option here is to bring a blanket, maybe like a folded blanket or a towel underneath your belly. That creates a little bit of pressure on the abdomen and can help with digestion and can just be another kind of more restorative approach to this posture. As you're lying on your belly, see if you can relax your shoulders and your face. Begin to check in with your physical body and notice if you're holding tension anywhere. Seeing if you can encourage your full body to relax so you're not using any muscular effort. Each exhale, see if you can encourage that softening throughout your entire body, almost as if you were melting into the floor. Inhaling, feeling your chest rise, and exhaling, deflating. Eventually bringing all of your awareness around your breath as it's naturally occurring. Following the rise and the fall of the chest as you continue to breathe. Maybe you begin to visualize that expansion throughout the chest in all directions. Down into the ground, up into the air behind you, and left to right. And as you exhale, feel that deflation again from all sides. Maybe you begin to visualize a balloon being blown up on your inhales. As you exhale, letting the air come out. We'll continue like this for another minute or two. If your mind wanders, you're always welcome to reset, maybe by choosing a word. I like to choose thinking as my reset word, and then returning to your breath. go ahead and take 5 more cycles of breath. And as you're finished, you're welcome to set an intention for your practice, or maybe for your day or week. It can be something maybe you've been working on, or maybe it's unique to this practice or this day. Seeing if you can draw from this very grounded and present place you've created within yourself. Maybe repeat it a few times, allowing it to really resonate. Gradually, you can begin to invite some movement into the body, maybe by bending the knees and windshield wiping your legs side to side. If there is something beneath your feet, you can kind of just kick it out of the way. Eventually stretching back onto the belly. And as you arrive there, you'll take your hands out from beneath the forehead and stretch your arms into a T shape. So forehead is on the ground. As you inhale, slide your right hand in towards your body and roll onto the left hip. So big opening stretch for the left shoulder. Your head can just kind of hang, or if you do have a blanket or block, you can always slide it underneath the head. You can choose to keep your legs stacked, or maybe you bend the top leg and place your foot behind the grounded leg. So right knee would bend and the foot would come to the floor behind the left leg that's stretched long. About 5 full rounds of breath here. If you find that this is too deep of a stretch, you're always welcome to roll back forward. So coming off the hips slightly, relieving some of the pressure of the shoulder. On your next exhale, you can roll back onto the belly. This time bringing your left arm into a cactus shape, so like this 45-degree angle with your elbow. So palm is on the ground. This time we're going to bend your knees, bring your legs together, and then roll onto the hip again. So this time your knees are bent, legs are stacked, left arm is in that cactus or goalpost shape. If this is feeling, again, like too deep of a stretch, you can roll slightly forward. Or you can extend one or both of your legs long instead of having that bend. 5 rounds of breath here total. See if you can spread your fingers wide and press into the ground with both hands. And on an exhale, you can roll back onto the stomach, stretch both arms out into your T shape, and we'll work with the other side. So keeping the right arm stretched long, fingers spread wide. Left arm is going to come in towards your body, as you roll onto the right hip this time. Bending the left leg, setting the left foot down behind the right. Allowing your head to relax, or maybe you find a blanket or something to put underneath it. 5 rounds of breath. As you finish, roll onto the belly. A
Make that cactus or goalpost shape with the right arm this time. Spread the fingers wide. Bend both knees, and as you exhale, roll onto the right hip again. As you're ready, on an exhale, roll back onto the belly. This time bringing both arms in line with ears, and this is where having a block, tissue box, or VHS tape or something like that might come in handy. But if you don't have one, we'll just pretend like you do have something between your hands. So you're going to bring the block between your hands, bring your arms in line with ears. Block and forehead are on the ground for your starting position. And as you inhale, you're just the block or your hands off the ground about an inch. So if you don't have a block, your hands are going to be like this, in line with ears. So it's almost, just pretend like you have a block and that you're pressing your hands into it. If you're holding onto a block or something, you're using your palms to hold it. So you have to have that pressure into the block as you're working here. So pressing into your block, forehead on the ground. Inhale, palms go into the block as you lift it off the ground an inch or so. Exhale to lower it back down. We'll do 5 of those. Press into the tops of your feet. Keep the forehead down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 3 more. Engage your core. Knit the ribs together. Inhale. Press your hands towards one another or into your prop. Exhale, lower. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Release the hands down. Set the block out of the way. We're going to do something very similar to that. Keep forehead on the ground, but this time arms are in a T shape. You're going to spin the palms to face the front of you. So thumbs are facing up. As you inhale, squeeze shoulder blades together so the hands lift off the ground. Exhale, peel shoulder blades apart, lower the pinky side back down. 5 more total. Inhale, squeeze, exhale, release. Be mindful you're not holding your breath. Let's do 1 more until you've reached to 5. Once you lift this last time, we're going to hold here. Continue breathing. Thumbs point up. Exhale, relax the arms down. Take a full round of breath. And then when you're ready, spin the palms to face the back of the room. So now the thumbs are pointing down. We'll do the same thing. Inhale, keeping forehead on the ground. Lift the hands up as you squeeze shoulder blades together. Exhale, relax. Allow the hands to lower. So you're really just thinking about squeezing shoulder blades together, and that's why the arms are lifting. We're not just lifting our arms up. You're using your back to do that. 5 total. Hold the last one. Exhale, relax. Hands can come back under the forehead and bend the knees and take those windshield wiper movements again. Maybe you roll your forehead side to side a few times. And as you're ready, you can bring hands underneath shoulders. Inhale, peel the chest off the mat for Cobra. Exhale, lower one ear down to the mat. 3 rounds of breath here. So you're ready. Inhale, looking down as you peel the chest up. Exhale, other ear to the mat. After about 3 rounds of breath, inhale, coming back up through cobra. Press into your hands so it's a little bit taller of a cobra this time, keeping your chin tucked. Exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes. Inhale to press yourself up through a kneeling plank. And then send your hips back towards your seat. You can untuck the toes there for your child's pose. And maybe you work with knees together, or maybe you take the knees a little bit wider here. Breathing into the back of your body. Again, if you want to add in some intuitive movements like shifting the hips left to right, you can. Maybe rolling the forehead some more. As you're ready, on an inhale, you'll shift forward, bringing hips over knees, shoulders over wrist creases. If you do have a blanket or something you'd like to slide underneath your knees, you can. Take some intuitive movements here from your tabletop position. Maybe some cat-cows. Inhaling, lifting through the heart, opening through the throat, turning tailbone up, exhaling, turning tailbone down, hugging belly towards spine, pressing into your hands, peeling shoulder blades apart. Continuing, inhale, scooping the heart forward, exhale, rounding through the back, pressing your hands into the floor, pushing the ground away from you, and continuing. Maybe you decide to snake the spine or rock the head and hips. Maybe you make some circles going left and right with your body. Just exploring these movements here. Oiling up the joints, feeling a little more fluid in your body. Continuing to observe how your physical body is feeling as you move. And continuing to breathe as you do so. Eventually come back through your tabletop position. Press into the hands. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Press into the tops of the feet. On your next inhale, extend the right leg long, toes point down. Hips are square to the mat, so hip bones are both pointing down, toes are pointing down. Flexing through the lifted foot, pressing your heel back, almost like you're trying to press your whole foot onto the wall behind you. Really engaging the glutes here. Maybe you stay like this. Maybe you decide you'd like to touch the back toes down. If you'd like to add on and add a little balance challenge, you're welcome to inhale the opposite arm in line with ear. So left arm in line with ear if you started with the right. Think about knitting the ribs together, hugging belly in towards spine, pressing into the ground with the right hand and the top of the left foot. Continue to breathe, reaching in opposite directions, growing really long. On your next exhale, lower the hand and knee down. If you want to sit back and kind of roll out the wrists, you can, or you can go directly to the other side. Inhaling the left leg this time, checking in to see that hips are squared towards the mat. Back toes are pointing down, heel is pressing back, glutes are engaged, squeezing inner thighs towards one another. Maybe you stay here, maybe you touch the back toes down. Maybe you bring right arm in line with ear, reaching in opposite directions, growing really long. Activating through the abdominal muscles, through the obliques. Just a few more rounds of breath, you're doing great. And exhale, lower hand and knee down. Sit back, and let's roll the wrists out just a little bit. You can do circles, you can kind of bring prayer hands and work like this. You give them a shake, and then return to your tabletop. Inhale to extend the right leg. This time bend the knees so your foot is facing towards the ceiling. You're making like a 90-degree angle with the leg. Just going to start kicking up a few times. Maybe about 10 or so. Just little pulses. And next time the leg is pushing up, we'll start to draw circles with the knee. So being sure you're really pressing into both hands. So you're keeping the back of the body and the shoulders really active here. You're not dumping your weight into the joints. Switch the direction you're drawing those circles. And then as you're ready, you can set the knee down. Maybe you pause to stretch out the wrists again, or maybe you continue onto the other side, stretching the left leg long. Bend the knee. Take those little kicks up. Keeping your gaze down and just slightly forward so your neck stays long. And next time the leg is lifted up, you can start drawing those circles. Big circles with the knee. About 3 to 5 in each direction before switching. And as you're ready, you can set the knee down. Again, maybe you take some wrist stretches. You can bring the top of the hand down, fingers pointing in towards you. Maybe the opposite, palms down, fingers facing you. Eventually, returning to your tabletop, tucking the toes. Inhale, hover the knees. Exhale, send the hips back and up for your downward facing dog. You can pedal out the feet here. Think about rolling shoulders away from ears. Your knees can stay generously bent here if that's going to be helpful in encouraging a lift of your hips up and back. Thinking more about getting your hips up high than getting your heels down. As you're ready, you can begin to make your way to the top of your mat, finding a forward fold Uttanasana. So again, keeping your knees bent here, allowing your torso to hang really heavy over your legs. Breathing into the back of your body. Maybe you begin to sway side to side. You can take opposite elbows. You can keep the feet about hip distance, or maybe you walk them a little wider. See if you can encourage your shoulders to feel really heavy. Same with the face, relaxing your jaw. Big breaths into the back. On your next exhale, you can release the hands down if they're lifted. Maybe try nodding the head yes and no a few times. Eventually finding stillness through the center in your forward fold again. And then on an inhale, we'll come up halfway for a flat back. So hands can come to shins or maybe to the floor. Maybe
even the outer sides of the shins. Flat back, gazing down and slightly forward still, chin is tucked. As you exhale, return to your fold. We'll do a couple more of those half lifts. Inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, folding, lifting hips up nice and high. And inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. This time on your exhale, reach your arms out into a T shape in your half fold. Then as you exhale, press into your feet, lift all the way to standing, arms come overhead. Maybe you add in a tiny back bend before exhaling, hands to heart. A few rounds of breath here. If you had a blanket or something on your mat behind you, you might want to get that out of the way now. Coming to the top of your mat. Feet about hip distance apart. We'll inhale, reaching arms overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, send your seat towards your heels, and find chair pose. So sinking in, bending the knees, still being able to see your toes, so just glance down. Make sure arms are in line with ears. Sending your weight more into your heels. And then begin sending your weight into the left foot, so hovering the right off the mat about an inch. Testing your balance. Squeeze your thighs towards one another, engage the glutes. Inhale here. As you exhale, big step back to your high lunge. So each foot is in its own lane. If you want to lower your hands to your hips, do a little self-adjusting to encourage your hips to be pointing towards the short edge of your mat or right in front of you. So check in, each foot is in its own lane. All 10 toes facing the front of your mat. See if you can maybe encourage your pelvis to tilt slightly forward, getting into a really deep stretch for the right hip. And then as you're ready, inhale, reach arms in line with ears. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhale, press to the front foot, eliminate the bend in the front leg. Reach your arms overhead, spread the fingers. Exhale, bend into the front knee, sink down into your lunge. Make your arms into a cactus shape as you squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift the heart. Inhale, press into your foot, reach up. Exhale, pulse down. Keeping chin tucked. Inhale, lift. Exhale, like you're pulling something down and behind you. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. This time you can continue as you've been doing, or you can add on by exhaling, hands to heart, gliding forward and down, tapping the knee. So inhale, pushing back and up like an escalator. Exhale, hands come to heart as you go down and forward, tapping the knee. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Testing your balance here. Inhale, reaching up. Engage your core, engage your stabilizing muscles like the glutes. Down. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Once you're down here, with the knee lowered, you can bring hands to frame the front foot. Lift the back knee, step back for a plank pose. Inhaling here. Exhale, lower the knees, lower all the way down. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, push back up. And exhale, lower one ear to the mat. Few rounds of breath. On an inhale, unwind and press up through that higher cobra. So you can put weight to your hands here. Option to add in that little push-up by lowering halfway and pressing back up before lowering one ear down. You can always skip that little push-up and go directly to one ear down. As you're ready, inhale, look down, press yourself up through that higher cobra. You can even lift the thighs and make that more of an up dog if you'd like. And exhale, bend the elbows, lower all the way down. Tuck the toes, press up through a kneeling or a full plank. And as you exhale, send the hips back and up for your down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 rounds of breath here. You're always welcome to take a child's pose in place of down dog. After about 3 rounds of breath, you can make your way to the top of your mat for your forward fold. On an inhale, finding your half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach arms out beside you as you press into your feet. Reverse swan diving, lifting all the way up, maybe leaning back slightly before idling hands to heart. A few rounds of breath here. As you're ready, we'll do it all on the other side. So inhaling, reaching arms overhead. Exhale, bending knees, sending your seat towards your heels, setting up for chair pose, Utkatasana. Think about squeezing inner thighs towards one another, pressing into your feet like you're trying to rip your mat in half left to right. Spreading the fingers nice and wide, keeping your back really long. Maybe you sink in a little lower. As you're ready, sending your weight into the right foot, hovering left this time. So I'll show you what it looks like in front. Testing your balance here, maybe you find a fixed point for your gaze, a drishti. On an exhale, big step back, high lunge. So again, if you want to bring your hands down and do some self-adjusting, you can encourage your pelvis to kind of tilt forward, almost like you're tucking your tail between your legs. Bending that front knee so it's tracking with middle toes, both feet in their own lane. Relaxing the shoulders down, pressing into your feet this time like you're ripping your mat in half front to back. As you're ready, inhale, arms in line with ears. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhale, press into that front foot, eliminate the bend in the knee. As you reach up, exhale, bend the knee. Cactus arms, lift the heart. Keeping chin tucked, your head isn't falling back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pulse down. 3 more. Option to continue, 5 more like that. Or if you want to do those escalator lunges, you can. Inhaling just as we've been doing. Exhaling, hands to heart, down and forward, tap the knee. Inhale, back and up. Arms reach. Exhale, hands to heart, down and forward. 3 more. Maintaining your breathing. Maybe working with Ujjayi breath, constricting the back of the throat to find that whisper sound as you inhale and exhale. Last one. Next time the knee is tapped down, hands can frame the front foot, back knee lifts, big step back to plank. You're welcome to take chaturanga, or if you'd like to lower the knees, untuck toes and lower down that way, you can. Inhaling to find that high cobra. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, push up. Exhale, 1 ear down. A few rounds of breath. As you're ready, inhale, press back up. Exhale, halfway lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, opposite